Hello, YouTubers. Joe Kersey here and Paul Bennett at, well, as you can see,
5 o'clock.
10 to 5 in the afternoon, Eastern Time, on the 4th of March, 2015. This has been a very busy day on the Joe Kersey channel, without a doubt, without a doubt. And also on the Joe Kersey Facebook page and Twitter account, for those of you who want to try to run that down. Now, Paul got home, as you can see, since he's right here. And he brought home some, well, potatoes and what, sausages?
Yeah.
Sausage? Oh, I love it. And, but, now he actually worked the whole day today. He worked the whole day today.
He even worked a half hour overtime.
When they gave you overtime? Oh, I bet that's going to cause somebody's behind to pucker up a bit on that one. Well, not yours, obviously.
Well, the housekeeper's supposed to be on a specific floor, and I had to chase her all over the building and find her so I could get her trash. Turned out she was down on the first floor because she brought her cart down there and turned her trash off.
An elusive lass, as it turns out. Perhaps, well, I was going to make some sort of immigration remark, you know, as using those skills to elude the Border Patrol. Well, no, I mean, you know, and frankly, and you know my attitude toward that is I think, you know, any and all, as long as they want to work, come one, come all, as far as I'm concerned. I have no hard-on about that, even though I'm politically very conservative, although I am socially very libertarian, as you might have gathered. Ergo, well, without further ado, now you asked somebody for help today.
Right. And the guy put his coat on and went home.
He just blew you off?
Yeah. He says, no, it's time to go home. And he kept patting me on the shoulder. He goes, you go home too.
Well, it was very ungracious of him.
I said, I've got to get trash out of the building.
So he wasn't really job focused. He wasn't task focused.
Oh. I mean, he showed up at 8:30. So he should have been there at least till 4. But no, he blew out the door.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
Oh, well, see, this reminds me. This reminds me of actually one of the best things that ever happened for me, but not necessarily to me. A couple of weeks after I had started at Grant Hospital, not Grant Medical Center, Grant Hospital in Columbus, Ohio, in March, well, it was late March. At that point, it was late March of 1980. Was that 18? Yeah, well, it had to have been. It had to have been. Otherwise, I would have been unemployed. Wait a minute, Joe. Yeah, March of 1980. A surgeon for whom I ended up doing most of his anesthesia. He had a patient who he did a lot of major oncologic surgery. He had a patient that was bleeding out later in the afternoon after he had worked on this individual. Well, I mean, that happens, you know, fairly frequently with the kind of stuff he did. You know, we used to call a lot of what he did field dressings. You know, if anybody who's hunted deer or large animals and hung them up in the woods and gutted them and, you field dressed them. Well, a lot of times we'd call what he did field dressings because he basically removed all the cancer and stuff that was everywhere and anywhere. Well, anyway, so this individual was bleeding a bit. Well, bleeding a lot. You know, the abdomen sort of going, you know, full of blood. Well, the fellow who had done the original anesthesia, I don't know how I didn't intend to preempt your story, but anyway, the fellow who had done the original case, who, how shall we say, he was from a different culture than ours. Ours being sort of like Western world, work ethic, take care of the patient culture. I'll leave it to you to figure out who it is or what it was. He heard Tom sort of asking around, you know, where's so and so, where's so and so, where's so and so, and he says, what's he want? What's he want? And he says to me, no, he didn't say what's he want. He says, what he want? What he want? And I said, well, you know, he wants you to go do the take back since you know the patient. You can take the best care of the patient since you know the patient and since you did the original anesthesia. Immediately, this guy goes down the back stairs. This is around 4:35, 5:30 in the afternoon. He's out of there like a shot. Meanwhile, Merle, you know, God bless Merle, my angel Merle, who basically kept me from killing myself by giving me this position down at Grant, sees this guy take off, and he tears off down the stairs after him. Meanwhile, then Dr. Tom, I'll call him Dr. Tom. Well, that's what his name is. You know, his first name was Tom. He says, he turns to me and says, well, looks like you're the only one left. And I was the only one left in the operating room. Because all the other guys had gone home anyway because they'd finished their cases. And this was this was an emergency case. And he says, looks like it's you. I said, that's great by me. I love this kind of stuff. And I went in and did the case. And it all went well, and he liked the cut of my jib and the style of my anesthesia. And after that, I basically did all his anesthesia unless I was out of town or sick or some damn thing, and that didn't happen very often. And that's one reason why I'm able to sit here right now yakking with y'all. So I'm glad that guy cut out. Well, I can't speak to say whether the patient would have done better with him or with me. But in any case, from a financial standpoint, I'm glad that guy cut out and went down the stairs. Now, Paul, I'm sorry. Sometimes you just have to just burst into what you have to say.
I know. Smacks in the head.
So this guy cut out on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wanted to.
We'll kill that bastard.
You know, he's got 2 good ankles.
Well, yeah, but you're soldiering on. But and so you were up on these things all, you know, for over 8 hours, Dave.
Right.
Yeah. Well.
8.5.
Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Boy, do they get aching.
Well,
especially the fat one.
Well, yeah, of course they're going to ache. I mean that's going to be a feature of your life from now on. By the way.
I hope not.
Well, it is.
I hope the ache goes away.
Well, I hate to disabuse you of that notion. That's the way it's going to be.
Well, like I said, you know, I think it's the damn booze.
No, that's just the way it's going to be. I mean, That's what happens. You know, you've been remarkably lucky in avoiding a lot of sort of like the blows and things of life. I mean, you're 61.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've not been beaten up too much. I mean, you've actually done very well. Well, that's good. I mean, I don't wish you to, but, yeah.
Oh, and I found out Mark started gabbing with Lee and was talking about one of the people that they had started there while I was off.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought maybe there was. I thought maybe that person was hiding out above the lights.
It's one of the, He's not. Oh.
Is he hot?
I don't know. I never saw the person.
Oh, well, perhaps you'll see him.
I wasn't there.
Well,
no, I'm not going to see him because they got rid of him.
No, all he was, so he wasn't hot enough to keep. I'm sorry. I can't.
The guy had a given name. The guy had a given name.
Well, of course he did, unless he was called I'm sorry. It's like an Amazon truck. I'm sorry.
The guy was a transgender.
Oh, well.
And he kept wanting him to call him by a female name that he preferenced. And Mark said no.
That's a whole another can of worms, isn't it?
Mark said no. So I'm not doing it. He's on your thing. Your name is this and this. He said, and that's what we're calling you.
I mean, if you're gonna put me to the wall, I'll say, if your chromosome pattern is XY, then you're male. Now, you can call yourself anything you want. But if your chromosome pattern is XY, you're male. If your chromosome pattern is XX, you're female. Now, again, you can call yourself anything you want. But from the standpoint of pronoun references for people who are sort of out there, then the folks that really want to make an issue of this have to cut those of us, even who are fairly sympathetic to some of these things, a lot of slack, because, to my way of thinking, if you're born XY and have a dick, you're a male. And I'm going to call you a he or a him. And vice versa for the females and the women. And then if you want to somehow change your gender and be part of the transgender community, a town in which I don't dwell, by the way, then, all right. Well, make it clear. But, as near as I can tell, and I can tell this by reading the Daily Mail, because they love these kinds of stories. The pronoun reference issue isn't really settled yet, and so, that's my stance on the pronoun and reference issue for the transgendered community. Well, not so much the community, but as for any transgender individual, particularly those that have not yet had the surgery and the this and the that's and the so forth that convert them into what they want. Now, admittedly, yeah, sure. I mean, it's very obvious. There are a number of people out there that's what they are. That's what they want. That's how they think. That's how they feel. That's how they emote. That's how they relate. Yeah. But you know, it's hard even for people who are fairly. You know, I mean, I really don't like. I mean, I'm a gay man, and but I really don't like being lumped into all. And you've got all sorts of letters now, LBGT, and it's just like, you're gay, you're lesbian, you're bi.
See what the heck you're talking
about. You're trans, you're a trans, male to female, you're trans, female to male. I mean, just make it more specific. Don't toss out this whole raft of letters as if we all have the same interests. Well, because we don't, because we do not. We do not. I'm sorry, honey. So how was the rest of your day?
Fine. Well, like I was saying, Mark said there.
Oh, you're nice and warm.
The guy was total, normal looking and everything, except for he had a very high pitched voice, and he just kept demanding that he be called this woman's name. And Mark just kept telling him, "No, you're not going to be called that."
Was he applying for employment?
He got hired through that supplier guy. Same guy that brings in the housekeepers and stuff.
So the subcontractor.
Right.
Subcontractors.
He was sent in by him.
So she was purporting to be a woman, right?
Right. It wanted treated like a woman, even though he's running around wearing men's clothes.
Oh, so unlike the women who were doing most of the women housekeepers, or not housekeepers, but the cleaning people in the rooms. He had adopted female dress.
No.
Oh, I see. Okay.
He was working in the laundry room and helping with the my job.
Okay. Well, it's all very awkward up there at the Hampton Inn today, isn't it?
And he just kept giving the wrong people a crock of shit, and they said, "You're not working."
Was the individual doing the job or not?
I don't know. All I know is Mark's. This is not going to work out.
Okay.
Us calling you by sheening,
by a female. Yeah, no, I understand that. But that doesn't really address whether the individual is doing the job or not.
He didn't go into that.
No. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be something he wouldn't necessarily go into. I mean, that's up for the administration to decide, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had no idea where this was going to go. So I'm going to say, anything else you want to say?
No, that's it.
How's your, give the folks a leg report or an ankle report here.
It aches.
Well, of course it's going to ache. It's going to ache for the rest of your life.
It don't.
Well, it is.
I want to get back to wearing normal soft-soled shoes.
Well, you can wear soft-soled shoes, but it's still going to ache.
Well, not like it is.
Well, it is. Trust me, it is. I'm here to tell you it is. Anything else?
No, that's about it.
It's spring, guys. The sap is rising. The sap is rising.
I just hope I get walking easier and shit.
Check some of my tweeters and all that shit. All right. Bye-bye.